Hey guys, so today we are going to be talking about PTSD. Why am I talking about that, you're gonna ask? Well, because I have it. And I don't have that common one like a lot of other people do. I was never in the military, then never was in a war or anything like that. Mine actually, as embarrassing as it is for me to say this, came from a car accident. And a lot of people don't know this. Some people do, but a lot of my friends don't, my family don't, because I've never really expressed how bad it is. And it's just one of those things that, you know, everybody tells you everything's okay, and it may be okay and you may not have anything to worry about, but it's still there, it's still in your mind, and it's something that saying you're okay is not always going to get rid of. I just kind of wanted to, you know, put in my 2 cents, and start to vlog was mainly the reason for me starting the YouTube, but whatever comes from it, comes from it. Anyway, so I guess the best way to start it is start from the beginning. And I guess what we'll do is we'll start a little bit before my accident, so you can get a pretty good idea of where I came from and why it's just such a crazy thing for me to deal with now. I used to be into a lot of car shows. I used to travel all over. I drove all the way up to Canada. I mean, anywhere on the East Coast pretty much. And I used to travel all the time, like every weekend I was out driving, and even driving like on the highways and back home and everything like that. So driving was never actually a problem for me. My problem started when I got into a car accident, and it was about 11:30 at night, and I was pulling off the highway to take my coworker home, and this guy in this big truck was zooming down the ramp, and there was a light at the end of the ramp, and I didn't think he was going to stop, but he did. And our light was still red, and there was a guy in front of me, and he proceeded to pull out when he thought it was safe. So the light had just turned green, and I looked to see what happens, and you know, if the guy that was coming through was going to go through the red light, and he didn't. And in that split second of me turning and looking to make sure the coast was clear for me to go, this guy rammed into me, and he had a huge truck, and I have an '08 Altima. Fine. I didn't think anything was wrong at the time. Obviously, you're just so worked up on nerves, and we ended up having to call the police and come to find out that he was drunk. But as far as the PTSD, it's hard. It'll be 4 years Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving. I don't really try to make a point to be in vehicles with other people because of it. But as far as me driving myself, it's hard. It's some days are worse than others, really, honestly. I have many times pulled over off the side of the road just to calm myself down. You know, I freak out, and I try my hardest to keep focused on, you know, the situation that's happening. But it doesn't always work like that. And as crazy as it is for me to say this, and it's actually really hard for me to come out and say these things, because I haven't really to anybody. But it's not about, you know, it's not something that I can easily explain, but I'm trying. I imagine these scenarios in my head in which a car is the best way I can explain it is going to attack me. You know, I'm going to get hit from somebody by the side. They look like they're gonna pull, you know, into my car, or stopping. I don't know if they're gonna stop. They're gonna see me stop. You know, some things people are like, oh, okay, well, you know, I can understand that, but you really can't, because it's not that easy to just understand it. You know, I went through a period of time where I couldn't drive, and slowly over time, and with the help of a doctor, I have been doing things to get better at it. As far as being in a car ride where somebody else is driving, there have been times when I have screamed, you know, I do the whole grabbing onto the door, slamming on the floor of the car like it's going to make the car stop. But yeah, I mean, it's really crazy stuff. And when I do it, it's embarrassing to me that I do, and I try not to. And I try to keep it in, because I know it's not right. I know there's something not right in my head. And it's the trauma that happens from it is just really insane. Like, I never would have imagined that a car accident would make me like that, you know? And I've been in a few, and I've never had this problem before, never. But I don't know anybody who's actually been at this point where I am. Some people are like, oh yeah, well, that's kind of uneasy after I got in my, you know, accident, and so I know how it is. It's gone on 4 years. I still can't drive. You know, back home is only an hour and a half away. I still can't drive that by myself. I can't, you know, see a lot of my family and my friends, and it's hard. It really, really is hard to deal with that, and to feel so crazy, and to be so terrified, and, you know, to come to this point where, regardless of whether I'm driving or not, you know, I sometimes scream at the top of my lungs, not purposely, it just comes out. I end up shaking, I end up crying. I'm trying to do things to prevent that from happening, but it's all just one process, one big process for me, especially since I didn't start getting help, I want to say December of last year, so only had about 7 months where I've had a doctor to be able to help me, and in that 7 months I feel like I've made progress, but not a lot. I mean, it's still, to me, it's a big deal, because I'm still doing this, and I know it's not right, and I know I shouldn't be doing this, and it's frustrating because you're fighting with yourself. You're terrified on one hand, and then the next, you're pretty much wanting to pull your own hair out, because you know that's not right. You know what you're doing isn't right, and it really sucks. It really, really sucks. And so it's a process. Every day is a process that I have to go through. I was actually, after so many years of saying that there wasn't something right, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I got diagnosed with PTSD in November of 2012, and that was years after my accident. I got into my accident in November, the ends of November of 2009. So that's a pretty good chunk. I mean, that's 3 years that I didn't have a diagnosis, and I went through this. And so the fact that I didn't get diagnosed so soon made it harder, because now I've come to this point where I'm so used to it that it's hard. It's hard to deal with. But I do. I mean, I wake up. There's no other way. I can't not do it. I just have to get up and go out and realize that one day things will be better. One day I'll be able to sit in the car and not freak out. One day I'll be able to, you know, get up and drive myself to see my friends and my family. And I can't wait until that day that I do. Alright, so that's all the PTSD talk I'm going to give you today. And I guess let me know if you know somebody who's gone through something like this. Or if you yourself have. Let me know what suggestions you might have. I definitely would be open to anything. But, alright, take care guys. Have a good day.